This is in response to Bill O'Reilly's Talking Points memo of Monday, August 11th, 2014. I really don't really grasp the concept, Billy, that every single time there's something going on in the world that you and your ilk have decided that military aggression needs to be the solution and the only solution, and that anyone who doesn't have that concept as the proper solution is a weak and ineffective, which is what you're portraying Obama as. Because listening to you and your logic and your reasoning, I can understand why that would be a solution for you. But I think that there are just way too many things going on behind the scenes that you're not bringing up at all, that you're not letting your audience know about, that would basically indicate that Obama is doing the right thing. Again, we don't want to get into another slippery slope over there. It's a terrible situation. And every time we put our hands in there, it seems to make it worse. We never should have gone into Iraq in the first place. And, that's the crux of the whole thing. But getting into your whole thing about ISIS or ISIL, yes, it is a terrible situation. And yes, Obama has taken decisive action. Well, I won't say as decisive as you would want it to be, but he has taken action against them. But again, the geopolitics of what's going on over there, I mean, they're in Iran. They are in Iraq, right? The Sunni area of Iraq. Those are Sunni people going after Sunni people, taking over. And of course, there are some other, Saddam had allowed a number of Christians, a number of other small religions to exist there. He didn't bother them. But now that we have ISIS going over there, they're just slaughtering them. And you know that and I know that, and that's not a good thing. But Maliki has been even more of a weak and ineffective character in Iraq. The Prime Minister has basically allowed Iraq to be a Shia-dominated, a Shia-run theocracy where the Sunnis and the Kurds have absolutely no say in the government whatsoever. So when ISIS came in, there was already a power vacuum, and they just slopped it right up. And I know that you always hype about the Armed Forces Services Agreement, Status of Forces Agreement, I believe that's what it was called. And even Obama mentioned that eloquently, I believe it was today, is that that agreement was established in the Bush administration, that we would be out by 2011. The Obama administration did want to extend that Status of Forces Agreement, but the Iraqis said no. The political situation was such that they didn't want us in there anymore. And I think the biggest crux to the thing that is never mentioned on your show or any of the shows on your channel, is that the reason we would not negotiate on being there, the only reason that, let me try and get this straight. We were not going to allow our troops to be in there and be charged and tried under Iraqi law. We were not going to allow that at all. Now, if there was anything in there that said that they could stay, but they would be charged under Iraqi law, we were not going to go in, because we were not going to allow our soldiers to be subject to their judicial system. And I think that is the absolute correct thing to do. So we did the right thing by getting out. Bush did the right thing by having that. Obama did the right thing. And of course, Maliki has run that country terribly. Now, the geopolitics over there is ISIS, ISIL, Sunni. Okay, the Shia is part of Iraq. Where are they getting all their funding from? Because they were in Syria. I believe they're getting some funding from some of our friends in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, because they're Sunni. So there's a lot going on there, and the concept of bombing, and taking care of these things seems to be unique to your solution to just about anything. Now, I do believe, I don't recall you suggesting that we bomb in Georgia when Putin sent his forces in there during the Bush administration. I don't really know what your solution was when Crimea, the situation was happening in Crimea when Putin was going in there, and I don't think, and of course, no one wants, and you know that no one's, we're not going into Ukraine. So there's a lot of things. You know, you have a solution in some areas, but you don't have a solution in other areas. And anytime that you have a solution, it's a military solution, and you seem to have the want to have that military solution when you want to say that our president is weak and ineffective. And as I said, there's some terrible things that are going on over there. Some of those things we started because we never should have invaded Iraq. And there will only be a political solution there. There will not be a military solution there. And we just cannot continue to enforce our set of rules, our set of guidelines over there. And I wish that there would be a lot of other things that would be in play. Those things take time. Unfortunately, as I said, there was a power vacuum, and it's not going to be solved. Oh, and the big thing, Billy, is you know, you get in your car, you get out of your nice $10 million house or wherever it is, wherever you live, somewhere in New York, you go into New York City, you go into your little bunker in there, and everyone talks about how terrible it is over there, and you have a couple military people that advise you who are the same ilk as you. They just want to bomb. They just want to throw military assets at everything, and that's just not the solution. You know, that's going to happen. And I really, really concerned for your audience that that's the only level of discourse that they see is this is a terrible situation. Bomb them to smithereens.